Mounting concerns in India over the health of an activist on an indefinite hunger strike to call for education reforms. 59-year-old Sonam Wangchuk is on the third week of his fast. He's reportedly lost more than 9 kilograms, surviving on just salt water for the past 19 days. Aides say he is in immense pain and not able to stand without support. The Delhi High Court has ordered the government to intervene if his condition deteriorates. The hunger strike is part of protests initiated by the youth-driven Cockroach Janata Party, or CJP, to demand the resignation of the Indian Education Minister over allegations of irregularities in a major medical entrance exam. Senior leaders in the Modi government have largely dismissed the issue, with the Education Minister himself accusing CJP members of working against the country.
It's to demand accountability, which is important in any government. If not fasting, what, riots in the streets? That's what we don't want to do.
And Neha Poonia is covering developments for CNA live from New Delhi. Neha, what is the latest on Mr. Wangchuk's condition and what has been the government's response so far?
Angela, let me start by briefing you on his condition. He's now been fasting for 19 days, and medical experts say that such prolonged fasting can have a debilitating impact on the human body. We've seen in Mr. Wangchuk's case, he's lost, as you say, 9 kgs of weight. He's rapidly lost muscle mass in the last few days. He's visibly looking weaker, needing support every time he moves from that position on the stage at that public protest site, just a stone's throw away from the seat of power here in New Delhi. He's been seen lying prone, not talking too much, preserving his energy. But it's also not just how long he's been fasting for, Angela. It's also the conditions in which he's fasting. This is a brutally hot, humid summer here in Delhi, and that's made this very, very hard on the human body. We've seen in the last 24 hours an outpouring of concern for him from civil society members, from the public. The numbers at that protest site have swelled considerably as people urge Sonam Wangchuk to end his fast. This also came up in the Delhi High Court, as you said, with a petitioner urging the court to intervene, to force Mr. Wangchuk to end his fast, to force feed him. A notice was issued to the government, and you had the Solicitor General, which is the Indian government's lawyer, make a presentation in court. He said that Mr. Wangchuk is being monitored round the clock by medical experts, and the government said that appropriate medical intervention would be provided depending on the doctor's assessment. He is now being monitored every few hours, but what has happened is, as a result of his deteriorating health, we have seen a huge resurgence in the sort of interest that this protest was drawing, both from civil society members but also from the media.
Now, Neha, there's mounting pressure now on the government. We have the hunger strike, we have the outrage over the exam scandal, and of course the wider youth-led movement as well. Will the Modi government take action?
The government says they have taken action. They've said that they have announced measures to reform how this exam, which was taken by millions of medical students, was conducted. The education minister has admitted that there were, mistakes that were made that led to the exam being compromised, but he's refused to resign. The education minister, as well as other members of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's party, have called this an anti-national movement. They're calling these protesters disruptive, and they say this is not appropriate given the government has already taken measures. But what we are seeing now are attempts to build more pressure. Sonam Wangchuk has now urged students to come out in large numbers. On Monday, when the monsoon session of Parliament will resume, he's urging tens of thousands of students to join him as he will try and attempt a march towards Parliament. He says there must be a discussion in Parliament on these issues. When it comes to hunger strikes, this has been a form of protest in India for decades, going back to Mahatma Gandhi, and also a movement in 2014 that eventually paved the way for Mr. Modi's party to come to power. So there's, a lot of public pressure pressure now, experts say, but the government so far saying it's not going to engage with the protesters because it doesn't view this as a legitimate movement of the people.
Neha, thank you so much for bringing us the latest. That was Neha Poonia reporting live for CNA from New Delhi.